Okay, so I'm back. Actually, I saw the name of the person calling. So it's actually somebody I met. I left where I went to, where they gave me all this stuff. Where I had some good time, for about an hour doing the hangout. So I think the person wanted to call. He didn't know I have left, so I think he probably was anxious to know what happened and whether I got the gift they actually kept for me and the rest. So that's why I had to pick the call. Normally I wouldn't. So well, it's okay. Shows sometimes you actually have people that care about you. Okay, so now back to the the video. So I didn't actually know the size and the specification, and even though I took the VIN to check online, but I wasn't sure if what I saw. Maybe what I saw was the true fact, but later on I started to imagine to wonder if actually the site I checked that I put that VIN to confirm the engine's specification, the power, the size, and the rest. Whether I actually gave me the right information because it was a free site. So it was one of the reasons I walked away. I'm going to, you know, explain later. So, but generally, this is what they look like. So, as petrol engines are concerned, for the E92, So, so there's a video I'm going to share with you guys so that you have idea. Um, not that I agree with everything the person said on that video, but at least um well, I will interject depending on what the where I need to comment. So let's go in. Hold on. So by the way, I know some people might be wondering how come I'm using this. Why not go into the full video? Okay, maybe I'll do it on this. But the reason why I tend to use this format is, some persons might regard it as a copyright issue. But for me, kind of, to prevent that, kind of use distorted view, so I won't be like we are showing his entire video frame and the rest. We'll see. All right.
So I've been driving this car for about a month. I decided to get rid of my truck as part of a plan to buy a new sports car, either a Porsche or maybe the new 2020 Corvette. And I wanted to give you 10 reasons I decided on this BMW. It's a 2011 328i, also known as the E92, starting right now.
So, in case I'm going to put the link on the video description of this video, so that you can go back and watch uh, the full video, or more like a review. It was more like, I'm not sure it was a review. It was like giving updates of the car after purchase. So after you use the car for a while. So I'm not going to play the full video. Even if I do. I'll be interjecting, which some people might find annoying. Okay.
Okay, number 10, pretty simple. It was under $10,000. I couldn't believe it. You can actually find a really good deal in a car that was in really good shape for a 2011, under $10,000. So I paid just over $9,000 for this one. And to my surprise, there were several out there in varying levels of condition, but you can get one that's in good shape. I'll tell you more about what I found in this car as I go forward with the list. So number 10, under $10,000 for a Beamer.
So, yes, the reason why I agree with him is this. I can't tell about the E90, that's the saloon version of this coupe, the price, the resale value for the used one, you know. But for this coupe, I was surprised. I tend to agree with him because the price this guy said to me about that one I wanted to buy, or I was interested in buying, was so low that I was like, come on, this car, considering the condition of the body, the interior, the mechanicals, yeah, I'm not an expert on BMW, but you know, I started the car. All the electricals worked well. As I can't tell if there was any abuse or anything, but I could tell the fan was not messed up. There was nothing to actually show the car was abused electrically. So, but he said, guess what? How much he said 1.5 million. I was like, you gotta be kidding. I said, it was much later after I watched this particular video as well and other ones, and I realized that these cars are actually cheap. I'm not saying when brand new they are cheap. No, they are not. But when it comes to resale value, they are even cheaper than most of these Japanese cars. Uh, I don't know about Pojo cars. Maybe they are as cheap as Pojo car, or maybe even cheaper than Pojo cars. You know, so because people tend to run away from these cars that look very complex. When you see that car, it looks complex in terms of the whatever they used to form the car. So I mean, you're like, oh, it can be difficult to fix and everything, but no, I realize, not really, not really. I bought one of my siblings, my younger sister, actually used E46 BMW. Coupe as well. I was the one that bought that car for her. I went for the search. I inspected. Though during the search, she joined. She just wanted to see the one I'll pick for her, whether she, like it and all. But the point is, eventually I found, and made the payment and everything, and it was a coupe E46 three CI. No, not CI. It's 32. I think it's 323 CI. 6 cylinder, inline 6 cylinder, automatic transmission though, 4 speed automatic. I bought it for her in 2013, like a month after I bought my 406. Basically, like days or weeks after I bought my 406. And she used the car all the way from that 2013 till last month that she sold the vehicle. She sold it not necessarily because the car was giving her issues. I mean, that was the first time I realized that people actually, this older generation BMW were actually built to last. So the good thing about this model E92 is almost the same. Even the mechanical, the engine is basically the same. I can't remember the engine model in that C in 323 CI. I can't remember the exact model. Maybe I'll look it up. I think it's 32C. 323 ICI. Something like that. Can't remember the or 323 32 ACI. Yeah. But price, like I said, the price I got that, I was also surprised that this car could even cost that cheap at that time in 2013. Look, considering the value of the car, how good the car was, in terms of the design, everything, the packaging. So yeah, I agree with him on that in terms of being cheaper compared to even Japanese cars, of the same year, or probably with the same power, uh, packaging or performance packaging. All right.
Okay, number 9, as you can tell, the condition of this Beamer is fantastic. I wouldn't say it's like new, but it's in really good condition, especially the interior. What I found with the F30s was that the condition of them seemed ratted out really quickly. I drove some that were 3 and 4 years old that were $25,000, and they were melting. Their interiors literally were melting. I mean, I know it gets hot in South Texas, but when your door handles are melting into the plastic, that's a problem. And for that reason, and really I just didn't find one that fit, kind of what I was looking for in the budget, I went with the E92 in this specific car because the condition was so great.
Yeah. So yeah, I will tell you this. Yeah, I agree with him on this. The E90, because that one, To be honest, like I said, because what something I'm not an expert on, so you don't really have much information like how to detect the production year and the rest. So um, I didn't check for the production of that car, but because of how clean, how good, how well, I don't. At least it must important. No matter what, the car wouldn't have exceeded 2013. I mean the production. Yet it was so neat. The body, the interior, the engine bay, and everything. So it was like, so this car, after how many years of usage in whatever it was you first used, maybe in US, I wouldn't tell if it was US production or was sold in US market or North American market or Europe, but then the thing is, it still looks very good after so many years of using it outside Nigeria, used in Nigeria. Remember, I was a Nigerian use and still looks this good. Not things didn't break in terms of the interior. It looks that one looks okay and the rest. So I was like, kind of makes sense that this car actually could held up to this point. I mean, I'm talking about 2 years ago or early last year. No, I think it was 2 years ago. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, okay, just whether 2 years ago or early last year, when I'm into I'm not either 2022 or 2023. That was when this happened. So yeah, the quality was good. I can tell you that. Now I've not, like you said, I've not driven the successor, the F30. Is it F30? But I can't remember. I don't really know much, but I know I have no interest on the successor of E92 BMW because they are basically all turbocharged engines. So one thing I despise is turbocharged engines. I just don't like, or forced induction engines. I just prefer naturally aspirated. So doesn't mean I have no plans to own any of that. I will always, let me put it, I will always choose natural aspirated engines in place of forced induction, turbocharged or supercharged engines. I will only go for that, like maybe there's a model of a car that I like the look, like the interior, like the suspension setup, like so many things, and it's something I could afford. However, it's just that they did not produce naturally aspirated engines, and their forced induction engines also have some performance that I like, or I find attractive. In that case, yeah, I would say, okay, yeah, I will have to sacrifice or compromise to own the car, even though I don't really like that forced induction turbocharged engines, especially turbocharged engines. Trust me, as a technician that also work on project cars with turbocharged engines, no, yeah, I can tell you, you can. I don't know about you, but man, it doesn't matter. Even if they are so for economical, I always prefer the natural aspirated engines based on when you compare to issues both have. Natural aspirated forced induction engines, in terms of issues, man, you can't. The natural aspirated is way low compared to the turbocharged engines. So maybe, as you said, those issues were happening in the interior of the successor of this. But if you look at this, it seems as if the E92 was like the last BMW coupe that we actually produce with high quality or produce to last long, just like my sister's E46 coupe lasted for her for many years. In fact, it was 2000 production because it was so funny. Remember, my F46 was also 2000 production. So when I saw that one, I was like, okay, this makes sense. And funny enough, it was also 2000 production. So I was like, last same engine, same transmission, same everything until last month she sold the car. So I mean, go online now and check about the newer uh, coupe, BMW coupe with all these turbocharged engines and faster, consume less fuel. Tell us a list of issues. I mean, compare. I mean, come on. Even that E46, that my sister sold, there were times I will have the car with me for days, months, weeks. I'll be driving the car. So I can tell you, yes, I know what I'm talking about. Let's move on.
Okay, number 8 is the steering feel. So the F30 comes with electronic steering, again, as you probably know, but the E90 or this E92 has hydraulic steering. It also has a thicker steering wheel. I think the E92 comes with the sport package, which may have included a thicker steering wheel than what came stock, but it just feels firmer and more, it gives me more to grip and steer with. I really like the steering in this car, especially as I do other reviews when I'm traveling. And when I get back in this, I'm like, it just feels more in control, more connected to the road. I love the steering wheel and the steering feel.
One thing I will tell you, because I'm using my experience that I've had with E46, which this E92 almost shares some specification or some designs, is the steering feel. If you drive E46 coupe, I don't know about the saloon. I actually drove the saloon, but I can't remember how the steering felt. I think basically the same. The E46 steering wheel, especially the coupe, feels like manual steering wheel. You know what they say? People say 504 steering wheel is too heavy. It will give you muscle. It will make you become very old immediately, getting behind the wheel. Go and drive E46 coupe, 6-cylinder V6 or 6-cylinder engine coupe. Like I said, I can't say about. I don't. I drove one E46 4-cylinder saloon. I can't remember exactly how the steering felt, but I'm telling you about this coupe, the one that was in the family for how many years, that I've driven many times. It felt heavier than even 504 Peugeot 504 manual steering wheel. I'm telling you, as in, even when the car is in motion, you can't even put your hand and do it like this. I'm not sure it was possible all the time I was driving the car. See, you have to use both hands to steer the wheel. Maybe it was just that I can't remember exactly. But the point is, when stationary, come on, the steering felt so heavy. So you know that this is performance vehicle, not necessarily a sports car, but this is designed for performance. So I could understand what he was saying concerning the E92 steering wheel. Unfortunately for me, I did not test drive that one. I just don't understand what happened. I'm going to tell you the full, the summary of the story later after. I did not understand what happened. I was impressed by the car. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't searching for, looking out for to buy this. But I was impressed simply because it had manual transmission, 6 speed for that matter. Because anybody who tells a modern car, BMW, Mercedes has a manual transmission, you'll be like, come on. Because you know that almost 99% or almost 99% of modern cars now have automatic transmission. So when you now hear a performance one, especially modern cars that are built has much power, as in the full, you could say their VCs, these days they don't even have VC, but I could say the ones with the highest power, they are automatic. The only one you can get manual is the one with the lowest power for newer cars now. So I was surprised when I saw that. I was like, come on. I know BMW, they do manual as well, you know, compared to Mercedes. Mercedes, basically all their cars now are all automatic. So I was surprised that a car produced in the era of 2007 to 8 to 2013 had manual. So that was what made me that start to wonder, start having that dichotomy or dilemma, whether to buy this car or not, buy this car or not, buy this car or not. So yeah, the when you motion, especially that E46, when I was driving, when you're on high speed and the steering wheel is like, that's one of the things I enjoy on my Peugeot cars. Pay attention to Peugeot cars I drive. from the beginning till date. GM, you could say, okay, maybe that one wasn't like I personally went and purchased it with my money. But it wasn't the only car in the family. It wasn't the only car that my parents had. My parents had 3 vehicles. But it was the only one out of the three that caught my dad. I was ready to, even if my father would say he would kill me, I was still going to take that risk to drive that vehicle until eventually I had no option but to say, you know what, you stubborn, stupid boy, take this car before you kill me. Because of how heavy the steering felt. So, not only the steering, look at all my choices in Peugeot cars. 504 GL, 505 V6, 605 V6, 607 V6, 407 V6. Should be more. Hold on. 505 GL, 605 V6, 505 V6, 406 V6, 407 V6, 607 V6. Yeah, you could say, okay, but doesn't mean these cars have, doesn't mean it's only the V6 Peugeot cars that have, are the best in terms of all the rest of the model. Well, yeah, they are the best. I mean, I'm talking about performance. I'm not talking about fuel consumption, all these things. Not everybody really care about all these things. Most people do. I'm talking about performance aside the engine power. For Peugeot, let me tell you the secret if you don't know. When it comes to Peugeot, those their model, let's say you want to buy a 508, you want to buy those ones that have the highest power, they come with the best of the performance packages on that vehicle. And some other things that probably may not have anything to do with performance. So that's why I choose the best. And all of the ones I choose, up to from all these ones I mentioned, their steering wheel feels very heavy. Especially us, like the modern ones I mentioned that I have or have used, yeah, are stationary, they feel very light. But once the car gains speed, it becomes heavy. This E92, but when they are stationary and when they are high speed, man, it's like we are driving a truck or you are driving a tractor. That's how heavy their steering is. I used to wonder how my sister was even driving that car. But then it was her very first car, so she couldn't even tell the difference. Maybe that other vehicle. That's one thing about women. People always say, oh, I need to make things softer for women so that they won't suffer. That's the most stupid things men do because I don't want to pander to women. My sister started driving for the very first time with a heavy steering wheel. But because she didn't experience the softer steering wheel, she didn't even know that cars steering wheel can actually be softer. For years, this is what she had been driving. She never complained even once to me that this thing is very heavy for her to steer. But you see, my fellow men will start complaining that 504 steering wheel is too much. It is going to make me to look like an old man immediately because it's too heavy. It must be power steering. It's not power steering. It means I don't get it. It's just mindset. She used it, like I said, you know why she sold it? Not because she needed something softer after using it for many years. Because I don't want to mention the reason. She didn't need car anymore in Nigeria. That's why that car was sold. Which I would have taken the vehicle from her, but I had to let it go. Why? Automatic. I just don't give it that. I didn't care. As far as no matter the power in that car, it has no. I didn't give a rip. As far as it has that transmission there. And knowing that I'm not an expert on BMW, so converting it to manual may be something that I might not be able to achieve. So I had to let it go.
Okay, number 7, it's not a turbo. Now, I did look for a 335i, and I would have loved to have found one. This is classic BMW, especially classic 3 Series, a straight 6 with no turbo, just a naturally aspirated, small displacement 6-cylinder engine is something you just don't find anymore, certainly not from BMW. And so I really like that this is a non-turbo. Don't get me wrong, I know that the 335i is fantastic and I'm not trying to knock it, but for my purposes, which is making this a commuter car, having a non-turbo has a lot of potential benefits. And I like that it's a classic BMW naturally aspirated engine.
One thing, like I mentioned earlier, as far as it comes to, see, there are hardcore car enthusiasts, then there are social media car enthusiasts, then there are journalists, car, you see, call them a car enthusiasts, you know, they say the political correct things about a car. The social media car enthusiasts are just, they go out to buy a car that is trendy. So this car is trendy, so everybody is using it, so let's use it. The journalist car enthusiasts are like, oh, this car is launched today, so let me review it. So you know what they're going to focus on? Their measure will be how many toys the car have or possess. That's going to determine how good the car is. Nobody gives a look the mechanical, how many toys did the manufacturer put in the car. Even when it comes to power, they will tell you, oh, they will more like join with the social media and car enthusiast. Like everybody likes the most powerful car or the most fastest car. So even if the what's it called? The electric car is the fastest, which I mean to every dick and how you know that is, you can't say every dick and how because most people only drive a car for point A to point B. But the point is I mean, or maybe they don't even know. But the point is this car is no fun to drive, even though it's the fastest car on the road. But as far as the fastest, even if it's electric motor or this thing or soundless, I mean, compared to people that buy like muscle cars to hear that sound, you know, even if it's not the fastest car on the road, but that aggressive muscular sound or attitude, cut it aside and say, no, this car has no power. The point I'm trying to make is modern cars now have been messed up with all this trying to reduce emission, fuel consumption. So, do we still have V8 engines on these saloon cars? I can't tell. I mean, I'm talking about even BMW. To see a V8 car, because I know it was a norm before, get a V8 on like 7 series on a BMW. Was anywhere. But now, probably what you see, I've seen 5 series that are very big. The modern 5 series, you see small 4-cylinder engines inside them, probably with twin turbochargers or double turbochargers. And they don't last. You see them almost every workshop I go to, you see them replacing the engine. For what reason? I fucking don't know. Turbocharger failed or uh, because the vehicle is too heavy for this tiny engine, even though it has some artificial assistance to boost the engine, to boost the power. Eventually, it wears the engine out faster. No, but that natural aspirated. So that's why, based on my own experience for coming from a Pojo, people, working on cars with turbocharged engines, like I mentioned earlier, you can't compare it to the natural aspirated. Natural aspiration might not be faster, might not have more power. But come on, you always smile, especially those powerful ones. The sound the engine produce, you can't help but want to rev up the engine to some extent. The turbocharged engine, what's the point? You don't need what do you need to rev it up for? As you're touching the wheel, the power is almost at the peak. Sound is very very funny sound that's very feminine. I mean, you can't. So I understand where it's coming from. You know. However, some turbocharged engines, they can what they do is they try to also introduce artificial sound to make it sound aggressive, at least to those V6 or V8 natural aspirated engines.
Okay, number 6 is all of the maintenance was done by the dealership that I bought it from. So it was a one-owner car, and that owner bought it from the main. I think that's something that a lot of BMW owners who buy a used car are concerned about, because if the maintenance wasn't done, and then you get those big bills. Hopefully I don't have that with this car, but whatever number I'm on is the maintenance history. Okay, number 5, the cup holders. Look at these things. Engage cup holder. I just love the ingenuity that goes into a lot of BMWs, or it's really just their mindset. And so rather than put something, in the middle, which makes sense, they freed it up to give more of a driving, clean feel, and they wanted to have it retracted. That's gone away on the F30, which is certainly more convenient for putting your Buc-ee's cup right in the middle. But nonetheless, I really like the cup holders. Engage. Number 4.
I don't know how much to say about the cup holder. I didn't test it on that car. I didn't even know about. I didn't even know. It was until I watched the video that I actually knew that that's how cup holders, how to eject the cup holder from the dashboard. I didn't know. But the point is, it's a good thing if you have it. It makes sense the way it works. But personally, I don't use cup holder. Even in my other car, my Peugeot cars, I don't. I'm not that type that use cup holders. I mean, even when I'm traveling, I can't remember the last time I used cup holder. So I detest cup holder. There was a time once. It was my 406. My 406 has a Formica on the. Yeah, it has Formica some places on the dashboard, then on the gear lever surrounding. So I was taking, I think it was energy drink or so. No, it wasn't energy drink. Maybe like malt. This was as early as maybe 2013 or 2014. I was traveling with the car. So I opened the mall. I think it was on a car drink as I was driving. No, I don't know whether I was driving or not. Then for some reason the can checked and the malt spilled out. The drink spilled out from there and touched the that Formica. So I can't remember whether I tried to wipe it off or I left it. Maybe I wiped it or something. So I just continued my journey. It was when I got to my destination, I think it was the next day after I got to my destination that I opened the door and I saw that it damaged that part of the Formica where that drink touched. Ever since then, I stopped doing that. I detest drinking in my car. Even if I had to, sometimes I would rather park on the roadside, drink whatever I need to drink, then continue my journey so that to make sure I don't drop it anywhere close to the dashboard or anything. When I bought my 407 V6 Coupe, the previous owner, almost same thing happened. Where that cup holder is located, where you put it, a drink also spilled. And it wasn't even a Formica, just a normal center console material. Touched it, and he also damaged that place. Till today, it's like that. It was like that when I bought the car. So I'm not a fan, but it's an advantage for people who like it this way.
Is this E92 Coupe comes standard with the sports suspension. And so I mentioned the steering feel, but the suspension is really tuned kind of aggressively, or more aggressively than a normal, highway cruising 5 Series or even the regular 3 Series. And so there's kind of a connected, lowered, tight feeling to the steering that can be irritating to some people, but I love it. And I don't drive this car all the time because of how much I travel. And so because of that, whenever I get in it, it's like it's new every time. And I love that tight suspension that's really sporty. And so number 4, the suspension is fantastic. Okay.
One thing I'll tell you is, like I said, mistake I made, I did not drive that E92 six-cylinder, six-speed manual that was offered to me to buy at a giveaway price in good condition. However, I will tell you the E46, which was a predecessor to E92, the E46 Coupe. I mean, one of the things I loved about driving that car, even though I was annoyed by the transmission, which was not giving any problem, just that I'm not a automatic transmission person. But then, man, the suspension is so good. Just take it on a highway, man, you will love BMW. You will love BMW. Anywhere you want, whichever speed we are doing, just put your hand to go in, come out the other end. Yeah, I will tell you that's how good BMW cars can be, you know. So it's a big advantage. The only thing I'll tell you, if you are the type that likes something soft, or you don't want car to be to feel uncomfortable driving, then forget about if E92. Talking about the coupe version of E90, do not bother to buy because they feel harsh. All the rough road I'll be driving, speed bumps, man, I was feeling every bit of it. It's just like 407 V6 coupe with the factory suspension that are still good. You feel exactly the same thing. You feel even no matter how small the stone is, you can't beat, you feel it on your bottom, every part of your butt. You feel it. These are suspension, performance suspension, shock absorber. They are designed that way, so they are not soft. So you feel it. So if you are not into that, go and buy the saloon. Probably you're better. I don't know. Like I said, I drove the saloon one when I was searching for the E46 coupe for my sister. Before I bought it, I wasn't particularly searching for the coupe. I was any E46. So I drove a very clean saloon E46, four-cylinder. Uh, so it was on the expressway that I test drove the car. So I can't say for sure how the suspension. Yeah, in terms of the suspension, it was okay, but on rough road, I couldn't tell if it was as high, if yeah, harsh as the six-cylinder coupe one. We are all through the car was in the family.
Okay, number 3, it's going to be a little controversial, but number 3 is that it's not a manual transmission. Now, I wish that it was sometimes. I spend most of my time in this car on a highway in traffic, and that's the reason I didn't get a stick. A stick would be way more fun on roads like I'm driving on right now, but when you're stuck in traffic and you're going from second to third, third to second, second to third, back to neutral, back to first, and you're doing this literally 100 times on your way home, you really don't ever get out of third. It's really annoying. I've had an E46 3 Series that I loved that was a manual, but one of the reasons I got rid of it was because I was constantly slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, speeding up. And so the automatic transmission for me is what I needed in this BMW, not a manual. Don't kill me. Sorry.
No, I don't. Okay, I'm not going to say I disagree with his position on automatic transmission because he is not saying uh, automatic transmission would have been better than manual transmission on E92. He's just saying, unfortunately, in his case, his was automatic, and he now look at his situation and realize that automatic probably will serve him better in terms of traffic, blah blah blah. I will tell you this: if I'm buying a sports car, if it's not manual, then it's pointless. I can as well buy the normal saloon, the normal everyday car. That's how I see it. I don't care how anybody see that. It's like buying a muscle car with automatic transmission. Kind of, you feed the purpose. Muscle car. I mean, look at that word, muscle car. You're not there for comfort. Muscle is aggressive. You're not there. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know, for some reason people started looking at masculinity as softness. I just don't understand for some reasons. However, I do not agree with the fact that, oh, because there is traffic, manual will come on, leave all those things. See, I will tell you this, in as much as most people will want to disagree with me, majority of men, I don't have the exact figure or statistics, but I'll tell you, majority of men that will tell you automatic is better for me because it's most time is because of their spouse, because of their wife, because of their girlfriend, because they share the vehicle with their girlfriend, or even when they don't share the vehicle, but because the opinion of their wife, their girlfriend, for some reason now supersede the vehicle they want to buy. Not necessarily because it's just that people don't know how to ask the right question. But when you drop in, not sometimes, where I do hang out with some people, of course, I'm a car person, so I always bring it up. I mean, once you start discussing, the other things I talk about, but if you don't talk about car in a hangout where I am, I mean, what's the point? What am I there for? You find out when it comes to the topic of or subject of transmission type, automatic, manual, this and that, CVT, this. At the end of the day, as people are trying to portray the idea that no, automatic is better, try to justify why it's better, which I have no problem with. But at the end of the day, I realize that what they are trying to do is to justify why they have to live with that because their wife has mandated that if you're buying this car, it must be automatic because she also needs to drive the car and she will not drive manual. So it has to be automatic. Or because the wife, even though the wife has her own car, which is automatic, but if you are doing this, she said, no, it has to be manual. Who drives manual? You are a village man. Why can't you drive manual? It have to be this. So they also end up trying to impress the wife, not necessarily that the wife will even drive the wife car. But so they do it just because maybe in future, maybe there's a need for her to drive the car in your absence, or maybe you are not feeling well, you need to drive the car, at least it should be able to drive your car since it has to be automatic, since you can't drive manual. So because of that, most men will always find reasons. Hold on. We always look for reasons to tell you why automatics would be better in it because of traffic, all those things. Guys, how many cars do I have? All manual. Even the ones that came automatic converted to manual. Are you trying to tell me, come to Abuja here in Nigeria, FCT? You want to tell me here in Abuja would also experience traffic? How many times have you seen that I come online to complain, oh man, this car? Or how many times have you seen me walking, trekking, and limping because of how terrible traffic that I met the previous day was while driving my manual? When manual transmission was normal, was the norm, nobody was complaining of how hard it was to drive manual. I also understand that the traffic situation probably was not as bad as it was at that time. However, videos and pictures are started to pop up, like those of us in Nigeria, pop up of Lagos State. Back then, when Lagos State was the federal capital of Nigeria, when traffic was everywhere, just as busy as it almost is today. Back then, traffic was also that congested in Lagos. And almost 99% of cars during the era of 504, Volkswagen Beetle, this and that, were all manual. How many of our parents were complaining and they were all driving? How many of them suffered of arthritis? How many of them have? Again, remember, my sister learned how to drive. I taught her how to drive with her E46 coupe. That steering is very hard. And she drove the car for how many years? 2013 to 2024. Without ever complaining to me once that the car is too stressful for her to drive because she started driving with the hard steering wheel. So it was normal. It was never an idea that, oh, so it means that she to the point that she never drove any other car. This was the only car she drove all through. She never complained of steering feel that it was too heavy. Even though she probably like the most feminine person in my family, may not be the man, but I'm telling you, in terms of the female siblings I have, she's just as I mean, my point is, eh, men are always trying to look for excuses why they prefer automatic. If you want automatic, just say you want automatic. Stop giving excuses, oh, traffic, or all those things. Just stop. If your wife is the one that makes you to buy automatic, fine. If you, I know sometimes it feels bad to say it in the presence of your fellow men that your wife is the determinant factor of the vehicle transmission type you have to choose because it makes you look a little bit less masculine that you don't have a say on what car to buy or use. You know, she's the one making the decisions in the family. Even if it's the only car, it's supposed to be you, but you know, hey, we are the married man. I'm not, so I'm not going to put my point is the idea that because of the traffic, like I said, make your clutch system soft. All the ones that were produced from new, they are all soft. Even 504, 505, they are saying they are this thing we are not hard. They were not hard from brand new. The only problem is people just keep, even when the clutch component fails and they become hard, they just keep using it like that. Then Zeta start complaining. So if your clutch pedal is, the modern ones, the clutch pedal are more softer than the older one, but even at that time, it was they were still not as hard as people portray them to be. It's just that when they are faulty, people assume that it's normal. It's not normal. That's meant to be softer. So you're not supposed to feel too much pressure while trying to use your pedal. Even the clutch, the ones with clutch cable, they were also soft. You know, so anyway, I just wanted to say I disagree with this, but I understand where I was coming from. He wasn't saying that automatic was E92 is better, but he's saying, you know, unfortunately for him, based on his condition or situation, he has to be, or maybe this is what he could find, so he had to live with it.
Okay, number two is that this is one of the last driver's cars. I think there's some out there. I'd love it if you mentioned some in the comments that, you know, are under 15,000 that are a driver's car that you can buy. But I think the E90 series is one of the last affordable driver's cars. I think that the way things are going, we're going to end up with, you know, cars that drive themselves. And so there's less and less guys and gals out there who really enjoy the driving experience. BMW marketed themselves as the ultimate driving machine. I think they've gotten away from that. I haven't driven the newest Beamer, the 2019 or 2023 series, so I can't say about that. But the F30 compared to this is just not as driver focused, especially not at the lower, you know, kind of the lower base levels. It's just more about kind of a consumer product, and that's okay. BMW's got to do what they got to do to stay in business. But this is one of the last driver's cars that you can get for under 15. At least that's my take. What do you think? So the number one reason I bought this vehicle is the silky smooth 6-cylinder engine. I just love the way it sounds and feels. It isn't a fast car, and I'm not here to tell you that, you know, this is supercar, but I love the engine. It's just smooth and buttery. It's like it just goes, and I really like that about this car. I feel like it's a unusual engine in that there really aren't any small displacement straight sixes out there anymore. And so that's my list. I'd like to know why you bought your E90. Okay, before I go, I wanted to ask some questions of you. So do you have an E90? If you do, leave a comment. Let me know, you know, maybe the...
Okay, so I'm going to post. This is from Car Mike. That's the channel name. So I'm going to post his the link of his video on my video subscription so that you can go and watch the full video. Um, so see, I bought my 505 V6 in 2010. It was the last Peugeot car, or the last rear-wheel drive Peugeot car that was produced, 505. So I used the car, and while I was using that, I was like, because of how I was enjoying the car about 2010, started using in 2011. Um, I was like, 505 will be my last Peugeot vehicle. Remember, I've used 504G in the past. So the 505 will be my last Peugeot car because I don't think I will go for front wheel drive Peugeot car based on how I enjoy the rear wheel drive 505. So something now happened because of how good that engine was on the 505 at the time and still is. So I was like, there was another car, Peugeot car that has same engine, not identical, but same engine, but in a front wheel drive Peugeot car. So I was like, okay, maybe I could go for that. But before I decided to go for that Peugeot front wheel drive with the same engine, the same V6 engine in my 505 V6, I was already searching for E46, not the coupe saloon, because my understanding then was that E46 had a six-cylinder with what's it called, with manual transmission, I6, inline six, you know. So I said that the power wasn't really that great. The power was almost the same with my 505 V6. So I was like, I'm thinking I was supposed to get something a little bit higher. But I was actually searching for one that, okay, maybe this might be the next car after my 505. So it was in the plan. So I was like, 505 is in my end with Pojo. But I ended up getting 605 V6 with the same engine in my 505 V6. And that changed my perspective of front wheel drive because I thought, oh, it's only rear wheel drive can handle as good as my rear wheel drive. But the 605 V6 changed that perspective or proved me wrong. So I now pushed the idea of owning a BMW by the sides since 20. This thing happened in 2011. Since that time, I kind of shifted it. I didn't bother again or consider E46 anymore, BMW. So that was why in 2013, when my sister was interested in buying a car, I was like, you know what? Maybe this BMW that I was dreaming of having, maybe you get to be the one to have it in the family, since it's Pojo for me anyway. But at least I knew I did my research and found the car very good enough. So that, by the way, until when this opportunity now came up 2 years ago, early last year, 2022, 2023, to get this E92. So that was why I was having that dilemma. I was like, you know, no, I thought it has to be a Pojo, but come on, this car makes sense. But come on, but but I will just. So because of that, I didn't actually, as a technician, take take it further to actually find out the car actual specification. Because for me, the power matters. The car, from the look of things, I could tell the weight. At least, estimately, I could tell this car weigh as high as 407. I mean, like I said, I'm a technician, automobile technician. I can tell a weight of a car. Not necessarily the exact figure, but I can give a range. So I know this car will weigh close to 1,500 kg. So to do that, it means let's to do that, it means it has to be possess the power that will be enough to at least be as fast as my 406 or faster than my 406. Because after my 406 V6 manual, every other car I've owned, oh, we've taken light. Wow. Anyway, well, guys have to bear with me. This is Nigeria, So I think what I'll do next is I'll make arrangements in future, get some lights that I can use even when they take light, you know. Anyway, going on, moving on. So I haven't forgotten what I was trying to say. You know, I think about okay, the power. So after my 406, every other car I purchased, now we're able to beat the 406 in terms of quickness. For quickness, even though I wasn't really interested in fuel economy, but at least let it be. Whether it's more powerful than 406, I just want it to be faster. Even though I love how fast my 406, but I want it another one that is faster. So I was disappointed when I checked the badge, the rear of the car. I did not see any badge. And I couldn't tell because I'm not an expert. The person selling the car doesn't also know anything about the power of the vehicle. So we are both in a blind spot. So I was like, okay, fine. I took the VIN. So okay, maybe the VIN will help me to tell me what engine is this, what power does this car possess. So I put it on one side of the free, what's it called? Free VIN decoder. Put it there. I don't know whether it gave me the wrong information, but I think what it showed was it 325, 325i or something. Or maybe I didn't look at the model. Maybe it showed me just the power. So the power I saw there was very unimpressive. It was almost the same power with my 406 V6 or 407 V6, but much lower torque. I think I saw there 215 horsepower with 270, was it up to 270? About 270 or 271 Nm, Newton meter torque. So I was like, my 406 V6, yeah, it's 210 horsepower, a difference of 5 horsepower, a little bit. This one has over it. However, the torque is about 285 on my 406. Yeah, this one is 270. So in other words, uh, the power, I can't say this one possesses more power, and yet it's heavier than my 406. So the speeds, it might not really be that quick, and my 406 will still consume less, and so I didn't get the urge. I don't know. So I wasn't really inspired. That's why I was in a big dilemma for 3 nights, 3 days. I don't know if I actually slept. Trying to say, should I just go and buy this car, and then even if eventually it didn't perform as good as I would want it to, then I could also sell it. After all, the price wasn't really that high. So even if I lose some money, fine. But at least I've enjoyed the car, because if not for anything, I will gain in terms of road stability or road handling. It was much later that I now started checking. Actually, this morning, so I now went online. I started looking, and I found out that they actually like the 6 cylinder on this E92 has about 6 cylinder. How many? Like three? We have no four. We have 320, no 323. We have 325. We have 328, and then we have 330. So while I was checking, I realized that, and I remembered that one I was offered to buy at that cheap price. the interior, that one was Formica, every part of the door all those things Formica. The center console Formica was designed with Formica. But all the ones I saw, and I'm not saying for a fact what I'm saying is true, but all the ones I saw with that Formica, uh, you know, design on this E92, we are all 328i in the both. So they, in other words, they're actually the ones that have higher power, like from 230 to how much is it? 230 to, hold on, let me even confirm. Almost 230 to 300 horsepower. So I was like, what did I do? So it's possible that that site gave me a wrong detail, or maybe it was actually that 325 or 215 horsepower. But for some reason, that one has a Formica the interior. But all the ones I saw online, all the 325 I saw online today that I checked, were all, they didn't have Formica design. But some three, not all, but some 328, 330, they all have, some of them have that Formica. So I was like, maybe they actually passed a very good. I mean, so it's something I regret. Maybe if I'm taking it seriously, I should have said, okay, let me research on it because I had time. The guy was waiting for me because he thought I wanted to buy. He gave me up to a week until I didn't show serious interest. He now sold it to somebody else. So I would have used the opportunity to now go as a technician. I said, come on, I know what to look for. It's just that, like I said, I just put it for the first time, and that first thing I saw discouraged me. Remember, it's a free website, so it's possible that what they posted there was nonsense. The site gave me a wrong information. So it got me discouraged that why buy a car with almost the same power with the one I have. It might not, it won't be as, it's not faster. It's not as if it will consume less, so even though that's not my priority. So I mean, I had my 407 V6 coupe as well. So I wasn't looking for another heavy car because that's how I consider it. And I'm not looking for another heavy car, even though it might be quick, it might be fun, performance package, everything, but not faster than my 406. Now I want something that can actually make me feel okay, fine. At least it's a plus to my fleet aside performance. I mean, performance, that sort of thing. I've gotten my 407 cool to serve those other performance package aside quickness. Even though it's quick too, but still not quicker than my 406. So I now realize that maybe, okay, it has happened, it has happened. So now I begin to look at other options that, okay, I could take it serious next time in case I come across such opportunities, considering that number one is cheaper. They are usually, I'm not saying all, don't go and look at it. Start going to the market expecting that you find a cheap one. Maybe the reason why this one is cheap is because it's manual. No, it was manual. That one I saw. Remember, Nigerians majority detest manual. So that's probably why the person was like, let's sell this thing off my hand because most people that want to buy this type of car in Nigeria will prefer automatic. So the manual will be a turn off to a lot of people. So he wanted to sell it off, probably at the same price he purchased it. So don't go and start expecting that you see it at that 1.5. Remember, this was like 2 years ago. It could still happen. But my point is, what I learned today was if I were ever to go back again, if that opportunity comes back again, what I'll focus on, I don't know. Yeah, I might not be able to tell from the engine physical appearance which engine is there. But I can, once I get the VIN, I can dig deeper to know that at least the most important thing is the badge, even though there's no badge on the car. But let me find out, number one, which engine is there. Because I realized that if the best option is between 3.28i and 330i. if you after performance, especially if you are but people that you own car that exceeded 200 horsepower and I want something high. Yeah, if not, maybe this is your first, you could go for 325. They are all indestructible. For what I gather, these are indestructible cars. So they're probably better off with 325i, 328i, and 330i. However, me, I'm more interested in M52 engine, I6 engine, compared to the M53. Now, from what I gather, the M53 engines, they are all six cylinder engines. But the M53 has more power and consume less fuel than the M52. But the M52 is more durable. It is more like an old design, so it doesn't have all these issues. All this, like I think from what I got at the M53, which you find in the last products produced E92 six-cylinder engine. That's 330i. You'll find they have a high pressure pump. You see, any car that have that's pump, I even if I'll have it, but it's not like an advantage to me at all. So it's not something I like. Then is a direct, I think they said they also direct injection engine. Maybe I'm wrong, but correct me. So the fact that the M53 engine, six-cylinder engine has high pressure fuel pump and direct injection engine system. Now it's a big turn off. I would prefer that multi-point engine, injection engine. The only thing is the power may not be as much as the I think M30, the M53 has produced about I don't even know. I can't say for sure, but all these they produce above 260 horsepower. Or even if they all share the same power, both the M52 and the M53. M52 is the older durable one. M53 is the more fragile one. What I mean is not the engine, the accessories. So the M53 consume less. So but then the maintenance at the end of the day, it still comes out to maintenance. So why buy something? Yeah, it might have a little bit additional 10 horsepower. For example, the M30, the M53 on has about over 300 Newton meter torque, about 320 or thereabout, while the M52 on the 330i is about trying to remember, almost 300 nm, almost 300, you know. So yeah, almost 300, while the other one, so additional, this other one has additional 20. So yeah, I'm willing to take the M53, M52 engine that has a little bit less power and consume a little bit more fuel, but with peace of mind than to deal with. I mean, the M53 is almost the same with turbocharged engines. I'm not saying it's identical, but issues that you'll be having will be similar to some of the issues that turbocharged engines tend to have. Modern turbocharged engines that are direct injection engine, you know. So, okay, I'm going to stop it here, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is I want people to start to realize that there are people like me that actually exist that are really into performance and not just performance manual, you know. So it mustn't be Pojo. So I'm giving you other options. Remember, I did that of Honda Accord, what's it called? The coupe version of which is 2013 to 2017. And I mentioned the engines that will serve you better. This is not all the VCs. There are some that have there's a model of VCs. That's a J35Y Y1, which is for automatic. It has some issues, but can be fixed. I mean, the issue that that causes oil consumption, there's something you can do is deactivate that VCM, or variable cylinder management, something like that. So deactivate it, that issue goes away. Or you go for the manual that doesn't have that problem. You know. Then BMW E90, this is the last, for what I gather, the last friendly enthusiast BMW coupe you can ever get in the market. Yes. Every other one is turbocharged engine. Trust me, if you have not owned a turbocharged engine, probably may not understand what I mean. I'm not saying don't buy. I'm not saying I will not buy. I'm just telling you, if you use a natural aspirated engines like the older ones and you now switch to a modern turbocharged engines with direct injection system, trust me, it's going to be completely different in terms of ownership cost. Completely different. Trust me. So it can frustrate you sometimes. So um I hope this person, I know it's a long video, but hopefully it makes sense. So until next time.